I really do, but mom has to go to work. Hello beautiful, what's up? Welcome back to the channel. My name is Caitlin if you are new here. As requested, I am going to be chatting my way through my bullet journal flip through for the months of January 2022 all the way till June 2022. Let me know down in the comments below what your favorite theme was throughout this year so far, and here we go into the flip through. I always love going back and looking at the plan with me's that I create in my bullet journal because I feel like I have a couple strokes of genius here and there. For my bullet journal setup at the beginning of 2022, I really loved having this picture of my life. I love going back and looking back and seeing everything that happened over the last 6 months in a picture. And how I created all of these picture printouts is I actually have a HP sprocket and it prints out those little pictures from my phone so I don't have to carry around a Polaroid camera or anything like that. What I really love about this specific setup too is my Dutch door banner up at the top. I love that I had to just set it up once and it was a nice decorative piece that incorporated throughout all of these setups because it takes a bit of time sometimes to set up your bullet journal at the beginning of the year. January was a phase for me where it just started my love of this metallic gold watercolor, and it made an introduction through a lot of my themes throughout the year. I really loved coming in with the black paper here from Archer and Olive, which was a little out of my comfort zone, but I really loved how this turned out. It was also the first time that I started doing my goals like this, where I divided it on a monthly, weekly, and daily basis to really help me hyper-focus in on what I wanted to accomplish and get done. I think I might bring that back, but I don't know. That's another thing that I love doing, going back and looking and seeing what I liked and might want to reincorporate that. Speaking of reincorporating, I really love the mindset that I had behind creating these specific spreads. I filled out a dot a day, and whatever I didn't get throughout the month, that's okay, but I could see exactly how much I walked or how much I read throughout the specific month for January. Here I felt like I was able to get a little bit more creative with my weekly layouts and really just kind of dove into using that black paper because it was so out of my comfort zone. I didn't necessarily know what was right or wrong in my head, so it allowed me to be a lot more creative, which I really liked. February was a month where I started using acrylic paints. I feel like 2022 was just the year that I have tested out a lot of different things in my bullet journal, and I am really just discovering what I like to use and what I don't. What I don't like using here is my memories tracker where I tried to draw out something every single day. Not a fan, didn't work for me, so I never actually used it again. I never filled it out, but I am always sticking towards my writing out a 1-line, 2-line a day to track my memories. Sometimes what you'll end up seeing here, and March is a perfect example of this, are a couple of spreads that aren't really filled in. For my watercolor bubble theme, I wanted something really quick and easy because March in my head was just going to be busy. So I decided to come in with laying this Dutch door monthly calendar out for things like my Instagram, gratitude log, my reflection tracker, things like that. But I also came in with my weekly spreads. Here is something that I did, and I showed it on my Instagram as well, is when I couldn't fill out a specific spread, I actually just came back and colored it in. And that is what I did for this one. You'd never know looking at it, but all of those bubble dots, the yellow lines, everything of color on here, I came back in and filled in a little bit later. So that is a trick if you are running behind, you're too busy, sit down when you have time. Bullet journaling is supposed to be easy, flexible, and work for you. If you're a little busy, that's okay. My April theme, I started using gouache for the first time and I loved it. Oh my god, I became quickly obsessed with this gouache theme. And I loved the coffee shop vibe that I had going on here and this little chalkboard on the side really just made me feel like I was encompassing everything that went along with the theme. There is one spread that I am not showing in all of these flip throughs, and that is just my reflection tracker. So if you're interested to see how those were set up, you're gonna have to go back and watch the Plan With Me videos, which I'll just have linked up above and in the description box for you. But everything else you are seeing. For my last weekly spread, here was a chance where I could have gone back and filled it in a little later. I had an idea of having a whole bunch of little coffee cups standing on the bottom and adding a bit more color on the side, but didn't happen. That's okay. May was a time that I learned a lot about gouache paint. Those little markings on the front of the page there are actually because a puppy's wet nose got all over it. So I knew even after my gouache paints dried, they could be reactivated with water. What also I learned as well is when I'm coming in with my gouache paint, if I add too much water to the consistency, it's going to evaporate later on and make your gouache paint chalky. And that is what happened with this page. So my very first weekly, you can kind of see there's a little bit of red dust paint marks everywhere. That's because I added too much water to my gouache paint. I learned that for the following weeks and avoided that mistake. Really, it's about experimenting, and not everything is going to work out the first time you do it, so you gotta practice if you want to get better at something. June was, wow, just a month ago. Okay, so this was my Pride theme, and I loved doing this. I feel like I should have a tracker or a counter, whatever it is, on how many times I say I loved whatever in this bullet journal flip through. But here is a to-do list, and guess what? I loved it as well. I got to just reflect back on what I did in the month. I kind of re-zhuzhed this a little bit for my Plan With Me that I just set up, my mid-year bullet journal, because I wanted to see what I did throughout the whole year. You can see some of the pages aren't filled out, and that's okay. But what I do fill out, I either add into my bullet journal's next monthly Plan With Me, and if I don't fill something out, I just kind of adjust it. Maybe I want to test it out in a different layout. One thing that I really did love, and I found with experimentation, is this layout. And you might have seen something a little bit similar in my July Plan With Me, and that is where this came from. Sometimes I felt a little lazy and I just wrote out what was going on for my day, but that's about it for this flip through. Well, that was it. Thank you for watching today's video, and stay tuned for next week's video where I'm going to be going through 10 different spread ideas for your food journal. If you want to see that and be notified when it's posted, make sure to hit that subscribe button and the bell below, and I'll see you next week. Bye!